Good day to everybody. So for this presentation, I would like to share to you how you will be interpreting each of the four activities given you during the last item or the last material given to you. Okay, and I hope by this time you have already answered those four activities. It was reminded that there are no right, that there are no wrong answers for those activities, but you have to be honest because those activities will help you evaluate yourselves in different areas of entrepreneurship. So for the first activity, it's about how independent thinking are you. And if you now have answered those questions, what you need to do is simply to sum up all your scores. So you were given several questions to answer. You were given 32 questions all in all. So please add your scores. Now, if your total score is between 32 to 64, the interpretation is others think for you. So that means you give in to others' pressures because you don't know what you want. When you sort out what matters most to you, you will be stronger. Take time to explore what really matters to you and how you see things. So that's the interpretation if your score is between 32 to 64. Others are thinking for you. Now, the next range from 65 to 96, you will now be considered as potential independent thinker, meaning you have considerable potential to think independently. Exercise your mental muscles by deciding your opinion on issues. Begin by gathering diverse information, then weigh the pros and the cons. If your total score is 97 to 128, you are a promising independent thinker. Your critical thinking skills are good. You avoid stereotypes and question experts and authorities. It's important to remind yourself to use your own analytical skills. Look for opportunities to practice every day. And then the last range from 129 to 160, you will be considered as an outstanding independent thinker. Your ability to think for yourself is outstanding. You are good at seeing bamboozles and avoiding them. So be careful not to become complacent by being alert to your unquestioned assumptions. So there you go. Just add your scores together and see under what type you are classified. The second activity is on your growth-oriented mindset. It's an assessment to your being growth-oriented mindset. And how do you now interpret this? First, we have a direction to consider here. For your items 1, 2, 4, 6, 9, 10, 12, and 14. So again, for those items 1, 2, 4, 6, 9, 10, 12, and 14, you will now be doing something with your answers there. And if you have answered 1, you will now change the value to 6. If you have answered 2, you will change it to 5. 3, you will change it to 4. 4, change it to 3. 5, change it to 2. And 6, change it to 1. Again, you will only do the changes based from items number 1, 2, 4, 6, 9, 10, 12, and 14. Then, what will you do next? You were given 16 items in that assessment activity. So all you need to do is take the average of your responses to all the 16 items. So if you will now take your average, you will now use the new scores based from letter A. So you have already changed items 1, 2, 4, 6, 9, 10, 11, 10, 12, 14 based from those criteria. Okay? So how do you take the average? Just add all your scores together and then divide it by 16. So add all your scores together divided by 16. Next, so if you have considered your average already, look at your score. If your average score is less than or equal to 3, so less than or equal to 3. So mas maliit sa 3 hanggang eksaktong equal to 3. And anong sabi ron? You have a growth mindset. But if your average score is greater than 3, you have a fixed mindset. So remember that activity is for your growth-oriented mindset. Okay? So ibig sabihin, if your average is less than or equal to 3, your mindset is willing to accept change. Your mindset is willing to grow. But if your average score is greater than 3, you have a fixed mindset. Pag ito yung inisip mo, ito na. Wala nang magbabago pa dun sa na-desisyonan mo. So that's activity number 2. Again, before you take the average, make sure you do the reverse score items. But for the particular items only. Now, for activity number 3. For activity number 3, it is an assessment for your being goal-oriented. For being goal-oriented. So you will be doing the same thing. You will be reversing some scores. But this time, you will only be reversing the scores from items 6, 11, and 17. 3 items only, 6, 11, and 17. Same instruction. 1 will be changed to 6, 2 will be changed to 5, 3 will be changed to 4, 4 to 3, 5 to 2, 6 to 1. And then, you will take again the average of your scores from the 18 items. So just add all your scores together. You will be using again the new scores from letter A divided by 18. Divided by 18. And how do you now interpret your result? So if your average score is less than or equal to 3, you have a goal-oriented and effectuating mindset. But if your average score is greater than 3, you need to exert more effort to develop this mindset. Okay? So if your average score is less than or equal to 3, you are goal-oriented. And for the last activity, interpretation for being resilient in your mindset. Resilient. Mabilis maka-adapt ng change, di ba? Mabilis maka-recover. Yun ang ibig sabihin ng resilient. And what you will do there is simply add all your scores together. Okay? Add all your scores together. The highest score is 5, di ba? So if you add all your scores together, take now your total. If your total is between 16 to 37, you have little resilient mind. So hindi ka resilient. 38 to 59, you are easily defeated by plenty of room for improvement. Okay? But if your score is 60 to 80, congratulations! You are a resilient team member. Okay? So, I hope you have seen yourselves from those 4 activities. And again, don't worry about the results. Those are your opinion about yourselves, right? Kaya kung nandun kayo sa mga scores na kailangan mag-improve, remember, we are in this course to develop yung pagiging entrepreneur natin. Kaya makikita natin, ang dami pa pala natin kailangang ayusin, ang dami pa nating room for improvement. But let's embrace change, let's embrace kung ano man yung dapat nating improve sa sarili natin. So there goes the 4 activities. So after this video, I will be sending you another video which will now be on the explanation on the items also that we have seen in those 4 activities. So for the meantime, I'll be cutting short this video. I'll see you again in the next lecture.